Hey everybody, and welcome to Jaraci Cup 9 once again for the last quarterfinals match of the upper bracket. This will be between NoFun and SickIGN. My boy, I've been coaching him. I really wanted to win this. I like the colors. It's black on black there. It's going to be Coalition versus ConF, and this is what I figured the game would turn out to be, but we do have an info.txt. Let's go ahead and read this, because I'm interested in the order here. NoFun has the pick first, or pick second, that is, so SickIGN picks Coalition. And I was kind of worried that NoFun might pick Saban into it. I figured that he would pick ConF, so I kind of prepped SickIGN on how to play against ConF. But no, he did indeed pick ConF, so it's not going to be Saban there. So, NoFun, though, he does play that faction as well, so he had this as like a flex pick potential. Bans tight end Passage. I think because it's a map where things can happen that shouldn't normally happen, if you will, right? So I kind of like the idea of that ban, actually. SickIGN bans Kalash Teeth. Now that's extremely wise, because obviously you don't want to be playing against ConF on Kalash Teeth unless you're really going to go ham in the early game. Picks the Boneyard for game 1, NoFun picks Firebeast Krill and Canyon Outpost. SickIGN picks the Shallows, NoFun picks Kartoba. I mean, overall I think the maps are fine, but I do kind of wonder why SickIGN would pick the Boneyard into NoFun, where you know this is like his favorite map. So, but for now he's going ref mode first here. This is not going to be early aggro. He's got the money for it. Okay, there we go. Just waited a little bit to click on it, I suppose. Question is, does he go for a bit of greed here, or does he get Sandskimmer Fab at the time that he should? He does have one base runner coming up. Yeah, he is. And for SickIGN, it's going to be AAVs first, actually. I'm a little worried about this, not going to lie, because I taught him how to do LAV pressure, because I know that he's pretty bad at AAV rushing, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, A-Games hit it right on the head. Because, like, I could tell SickIGN was going to be good when, like, he started, like, messaging me about, like, what, like, feedback I'd given him in games, and he just, like, he was like, can we do practice games? Like, I want to learn. And I was like, oh, shoot, we've got another tryhard, you know? And sure enough, he's improved, like, leaps and bounds from last time we saw him. I managed to coach him to victory against God Hates Weebs in the last tournament. Yeah. Oh, and it's not rallied out either, which means this is actually a pretty significant amount of time that we're going to lose by not having the unit rallied, so... But he does catch it eventually. But yeah, SickIGN's AVs are actually, like, usually built at a good time. Like, I feel like he has the build order down pretty well, but he doesn't quite understand how to use them just yet. One thing that he's really strong at is LAV rail, so I was kind of advising him to just stick on that, but... If his opponent goes for eco, then this is indeed a build that can punish it. So he's not made a mistake. It's just that, like, you know, he needs to play this one properly to leverage the advantage that he's got here. Buoyant gamer. I'm so glad that we came up with that. Yeah, he's already started actually, but right now he could queue up a Sport Cruiser. Yeah, he looks like he just has. No, that's actually AV's thing. Well, he's got a lot of money then. Has he got the armor upgrade? No, so he should click on this. I mean, if you're going to do AV rush, yep, there you go. You want the armor upgrade for sure. And he does have that one started, so. Assault Ship Fab going to be the choice for NoFun then. He has seen the AVs, I believe, actually, with the Sand Skimmers. But if not, he'll catch them pretty soon. But the way he's running away with everything, I'm sure he saw it. Question is, how many AVs will SickIGN build before he goes to eco? It's always kind of the question in this type of build here. NoFun, by the way, teching to power 1, he really does not want to die to this. That's obviously not a bad idea. He's got money to start a second PC even, but he really probably shouldn't, because he's going to need to get that armor upgrade right when this is, right when AV, or Assault Ship Tech is done, and he's going to have to be building them too, so he'll have quite a lot of expenditure in just a moment. Well, he should tech to armor 1 anyway, but it's not a very long tech. There we go. Now, one thing I am a little bit concerned about, though, is these BDs. You know, NoFun, he'll go for this kind of stuff. And one of them was used earlier, but, yeah, no, I definitely agree with this. I'll get to that in a second. But these BDs, like, NoFun is known for going for some kind of BD shenanigans. He likes to try with the blast drones. And SickIGN is here on the base. He's actually causing NoFun to have to pull off the line there. Smoke was used to buy a little bit of time to get some missiles on, but, yeah, he's got to back away. And these AVs are backing away also. I mean, he really wants to bring them all up into the front line. Whenever the carrier moves out to zone, you go in on the other side. And, of course, don't die to BDs, which is possibly about to happen. But you can see he's preemptively splitting. He knows about this. Oh, but he bunched up again. But maybe the blaster will die? NoFun's done that before. No, he does get the hit off, but it's only one salvager dies, so really, really lucky for SickIGN there. Ooh, scary times, man. NoFun with his second PC coming up. Obviously, he did get ref mode first, so he's going to be able to. He is going to be able to go up onto 3 base now if he wants to. He's got these soul chips coming out too, so it feels like he's got good defense. And SickIGN, right, just completely backed away with the AVs. This is why I was telling him not to do AV rush, because you can't, like, you've gotta have a pretty good game sense for like where to commit the AVs and like how long to stay and stuff like that. But yeah, he's gonna probably suffer for this then, because I think NoFun is just gonna passively gain a really big advantage here. And obviously the one salvager does mean something at least. Uh-oh. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, it could mean a lot more if he doesn't heal them up. I mean, he's got that system ready. Uh-oh. Another thing, though, right, look at this, he hasn't built a support cruiser, right? So, I mean, obviously, he's still on 1 base here, and clearly, like, NoFun, if he wants to, can, clearly NoFun, if he wants to, can, like, get up onto 3 base here and, start just getting a huge macro. And again, like, look at this, he sees the skims here, pulls all these guys. I mean, what's this gonna do? You want to just leave these guys attacking and, you know, deal with multiple fronts at the same time, but BD's still alive. Oh, boy. No, it doesn't look like he can get back there. The carrier will kill it too fast. The skims come in to capitalize on the damage, though, and they will finish off another salve. He can get this logistics module if he reacts quickly enough. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. NoFun with a little bit of micro woes over here. Whoa, fun. Yeah, he actually kind of choked that and didn't manage to finish off the kills there, but... Wait, something funny happened in the chat. Yeah, I forget how good Discar is in StarCraft 2. I mean, obviously they're not the same game, but like I always just have kind of assumed that like if we had really a proper professional scene, I wouldn't even be in like the high skill bracket in DOK. But like knowing that Discar actually is in like Masters and StarCraft 2 makes me feel a bit better, because like he usually has the advantage over me, but I've beaten Discar before, you know. It's like I'm not that bad, right? Yeah, but SickIGN, I mean, he keeps jiggling like the entire army. If he sees like sand skimmers over here, he'll pull all these guys back, even if they're like right there. So. Oh no, you're definitely right about that. I mean. But like I consider Masters at least to be the upper third, right? That's kind of more what I'm talking about. What's crazy about StarCraft 2 professional play though is it feels almost like there are situations that are more or less solved, right? You know, if with perfect play this should happen, with perfect play this should happen. Yeah, but nobody plays perfectly, do they? No, these pros like they micro things perfectly. It's insane, right? I mean, the level of accuracy to like be able to do that, it's just astounding, you know. I think that's why like StarCraft 2 has built up this reputation as like a really like micro-intensive type of game. And by the way, this is maybe okay for SickIGN, but he needs to kind of watch out because these guys are kind of low health, like hit point pools. Ooh. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, they won't get overwhelmed, you know, by handling multiple front lines. For example, that's a pretty big BD hit there. well, that's what I'm saying, though, Discar, is that, like, the pros, when they'll do, like, these drops with, like, Medivacs and, like, Marines, I'm like, how are you doing this? I mean, like, the amount of, like, APM that it takes and clicking everywhere totally accurately as well, which is, you know, a whole other topic. I mean, it's just, like, it's insane. I can't ever imagine myself approaching that level of accuracy in an RTS, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, you know? And, you know, this is just pretty standard. Everyone knows how to do this. Like, what? You know what I mean? That's why I've always thought, like, if DOK had, like, a proper, like, professional circuit, it'd be pretty similar to that, I think. Where, you know, we get into micro situations and, like, I would just always lose to these guys because, well, you know, they know how to control the unit, you know, and they're just so good at it too, and I just, like, I'm not as good, right? But I'm sort of benefiting from the fact that everyone at DOK is kind of a noob. By the way, Soul Chips massacre the third base salvagers over here. Sorry, I'm always getting distracted about the game that I'm actually casting. It looks like they want more here. Obviously, this is what the Soul Chips want to do. He kind of camps these hills here. Go crazy, but at the same level. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing about a lot of this stuff, right? Is that, like, when I play a game and I find like, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this, I'm always like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get to like the freaking top level. I'm gonna go ham, you know. And then you gotta kind of temper your expectations. Like, I'll realize at some point in my progress, you know, I do improve. It's not like I don't improve, right? But determination is one thing, but some people have a natural talent at a game that other people just will never have, no matter how much they try to cultivate it, right? You know, whether it's first-person shooters, MOBAs, RTS, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I think if I were to dedicate my entire life to, like, just getting good at StarCraft 2, for example, and like 8 hours a day, right? Like, yeah, I would get a lot better than I am now, but I would never be a professional, right? I couldn't be that good. Sporkers are gonna die, by the way. This game is just gonna chunk that boy up before they go for the rails here. All the smokes are expired, so... Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't say natural talent is king, right? But it's necessary, right? If you have two people who practice the same amount, but one of them is just a natural, he will always be ahead, is kind of my thought, right? If they both have that same work ethic and they both, you know how to practice and, like, do that, you know, they're obviously... Like, I think that natural talent really is a big factor in a player's development, right? Most players tend to peak at things pretty quickly, I guess I'll say. So, I mean, like, if you haven't reached that top level... If you haven't reached that top level really quickly, it's kind of questionable you'd get there at all, to be honest. Which sounds really harsh, but, like... Oh... But most players tend to peak, like, from what I've seen. And if you have that talent to get to the top, obviously, you know, you probably still won't if you don't practice at all. But if you do, like, other people just can't do that, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's a loser attitude. Yikes. Hey, you know me. I'm quite a tryhard in the things that I do, you know. Because, like, in my mind, it's not really healthy to think about where your cap is going to be. You'd rather just go and find out, right? So, like, I don't mean to say that to excuse not trying hard enough. By the way, this is horrible. NoFun is losing tons of dudes to the anti-air here. I mean, yeah, he got some nice bomber hits, but as the dust settles, I think for sure it's actually SickIGN who's kind of happy with this trade. But again, you know, sometimes unequal trades can be okay if you're ahead. He does have 3 base here, so. But oh my gosh, that's like Phoenix scale levels of AVs. Look at this. Does he at least have armor 3? He does. Okay, well this is actually a pretty strong force then. Kind of Siege is being teched though, so. I need to type way too much to explain my view on this. Yeah, that's relatable. It's unfair because I'm the streamer. I can just talk, you know, and you've got to listen, so. I get to push my agenda without having to worry about typing it all out. Armor 3 coming out for NoFun here, but SickIGN's army is looking really freaking strong here. He should really send the railguns out there as well, and the missile batteries too, definitely, because obviously the bombers will just tear this to pieces, right? But if he brings everything up here, you know, like, he's got a really strong army right now. To be honest, though, I think he needs more anti-air. And Con of Siege is going to be coming out pretty soon, which is obviously what NoFun is banking on to kind of move into the late game here. That's gonna really nullify a lot of the advantage of having so many AVs here, but another way to do it is just kill them all. And like, if he's not gonna have the missile batteries, you know, in position to block here, that could well happen. So, couple of shots landing on these AVs here now. Here come the bombers. Now 3 bombers will take out a missile battery for sure. He does have armor 3, but looks like NoFun playing this a little bit safer though. He's gonna go for it. Yep. So he's gonna go ahead and snipe out this missile battery here. Down he goes. And it looks like he'll go for seconds as well, but he needs to be a little careful about overextending here. It's taking a lot of fire now to the missile batteries. Ooh, did he not get the ammo upgrade? No, he did. So he could have actually finished that one off, but now look at this, right? He's still moving out these AVs as SickIGN, but there's no anti-air cover now, so the strike fighters are gonna have a field day over here. I mean, I say that. There's only 2 of them. It's not like he's going to lose everything, but this is pretty bad. Yeah, SickIGN clearly having some trouble keeping his army covered for air. He has rebuilt that support cruiser for the third base, though. But Con of Siege is done, so this is going to transition us to a different stage of the game. The composition from NoFun is going to change quite drastically here. And the thing is, Rails and AAVs are a pretty strong combo, I would say, but when Con of Siege comes out, they tend to falter a little bit. If they get close up, these assault ships are probably going to be ready to maul them. If they stay far away, railguns you'd think would have the advantage, but it's really pretty common to lose them to Con of Siege. Not to mention, we have to remember, if these missile batteries die, I mean, bombers can just come in and kill everything. So, and again, SickIGN bringing these AVs out really far here, but he doesn't have any anti-air cover, so this makes me very nervous. Recharge upgrade as well coming out, so NoFun can tell he's getting a lot of value out of these bombers. He wants to keep that up. Really big float from him. I mean, I think another PC would really have had quite a lot of merit here, but he is close to fleet capacity, so it's not a huge problem, to be honest. He's got a lot of techs to get. He can get range, he can get EMP, and then start taking power, so... And then he just queues up 3 Con of Siege casually. That's how you know things are good. He goes through a little bit of a skimmer phase as well. He's got 3 blast drones on the back line, ready to try and make some kind of a play on the main base when things get complicated. I love that idea. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, people sleep on blast drones. This is a very powerful unit, right? At all stages of the game. Con of shouldn't just build this in the early game. This is probably a mistake, I would say, for this is probably a mistake for NoFun to try and commit the bombers over here. I mean, like, yeah, he'll get some damage, but he does lose a bomber for that. And because he wants to build Con of Siege, he can't really replace them very well. Uh-oh. But like I said, you know, once things get complicated on the front line, here he comes in with the BDs. And yes, NoFun was floating, but like I said, he's approaching fleet capacity, so it's almost like okay, in a way. He did just use a bunch of fleet capacity there, but he can rebuild off of the base runners here if he wants to get more BDs out, which, I mean... Oh, this one's actually out. Look at that. But, you know, I think it's pretty safe to say the blast drones have been successful for him so far, so it's probably something he wants to keep doing. Support cruiser up in the front line, I'm a really big fan of that, because when Con of Siege comes out, you want to be able to survive that attrition. Mortar's kind of thrown there, they're not going to really get any hits down. The range upgrade is done, and NoFun is going to take advantage of that to fire barrage out here. May find a kill here, but may not. And SickIGN seeing the Con of Siege, now he's got to make a choice of what he wants to do to deal with it. And I think, honestly, the answer is more support cruisers, but I'm not sure, because he just needs to keep this army alive, I think. Ooh. Oh, the mortars are really close to being huge there, but he does get some pretty decent damage. Kills, like, I think that was 3 skims. It's at least going to force them to back away here. But the barrage from the Con of Siege, though, landing straightly on that artifact, which is where all the rails are located. SickIGN hasn't noticed this quite yet. There he goes, he's moving out. Now, silver lining for him, though, he does have armor 3, and that's going to make a big difference in the survivability of his units. But as all these hit points get lower, you can see these support cruisers are going to be more and more taxed with trying to get the units healed up. I think maybe the play is to get support cruisers to deal with this, but he's going to go for assault cruisers, which is probably also a good idea. Something to actually, like, directly challenge the Con of Siege rather than just try to survive the attrition. There's 4 of them? Oh, how did this happen so fast? Oh gosh. And remember, too, I mean, NoFun's got 2 base runners, he's on 3 out of 5, so if he can get field control enough to extract some artifacts here, he wins the game, right? That's what I think he should really be doing right now. And the main base mining out, he can actually just unlock his carrier as well, start taking some power reserves. But he's actually going for sand skimmer upgrades, which is interesting. I think Siege Cruiser EMP would maybe have been more valuable here. He's able to kill a couple of AVs now with some with those assault ships and the Siege Cruisers there. And man, Pixicode, I sure wish that too. And how are you doing? It's been a while. Remember, you used to play, oh, how long ago was this? It must have been like almost a couple months now, right? You were in some of our tournaments, I think. Yeah, the reason I call this sort of a Con of Siege win condition is because if you can mass them up like this and the enemy player hasn't sort of proactively, you know, responded to like what's going to happen, I feel like it's almost just pre-resolved, if you will, you know what I mean, that like this Con of player is going to win when he gets enough of these Con of Siege up. There's 5 of them right now. Maybe even more. He might have just built one. Oh, that's a PC. Do these blast drones... Okay, I thought they were like moving up toward the support cruiser. I was like, does he know about this? But this is very awkward for SickIGN. He has to kind of split there. Assault cruiser fab probably about finished for him. Yeah, it is done. I wonder if he has money to build them though, because he's taking a lot of losses here that have to be replaced. Oh, actually, I have the resources tab open. Hey, look at that. Yeah, so he hasn't really got money to build any of these things, and Con of Siege just chunking the army there entirely. I mean, it's insane. Check the units lost tab now. Well, it's a bit more even than I expected, but obviously still about a 2k resource differential there. It's not looking good for SickIGN. And again, these are the game-winning artifacts, so somehow he has to scrape together a push that can actually gain the field control, despite this, you know, 5 Con of Siege, tons of assault chips, and then these sand skimmers as well. And he's got a lot of rails to make this work, but again, rails are not great against Con of Siege because of that barrage ability. And he's got to do it like... Well, it's probably actually already over. Unit which just wins when it's out. That's a pretty good definition of Con of Siege. No, I mean, my thoughts on BCs were always that they ought to retain this really big tankiness but be slow in response. But I mean, I'm realizing as more time goes on that like that's not really realistic for like a unit in an RTS game. Exactly, right? I mean, if it's really slow but has a bunch of tankiness, we'll just party bus it, right? So I mean, like, as time goes on, I'm starting to warm up to the Jaraci battle cruisers. Something still feels wrong about them though, but I really can't explain what. Anyway, NoFun is gonna win off of extraction here. Pushes SickIGN off of the map there. There's just no way that he can contest this. I mean, you know, what army has he got to fight this? I mean, he does have a lot of rails to be fair, but it was just at that point it was kind of a foregone conclusion. AV Rush, not his thing, I would say. I think SickIGN really is good at this LAV and rail style. I think he should really try and stick on that. But for this game too, it's going to be on Firebase Krill, SickIGN's Coalition, of course, still. This is a map that AVs are pretty good on, but still, I think he can really do... work with that LAV rail style. I want to see him try that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Because the thing is, his build orders are good. Like, he clearly knows... He clearly knows the orders here, right? But he's just not, how do I say? I mean, like, obviously having the units out is one thing, but, like, knowing what to do with them, right? Understanding, like, okay, so if this is my build order, then what is my goal here? What do I need to accomplish, right? I feel like he's really good about that with LAV Rail, but he's not so good about that with AV Rush. And, you know, I mean, I shouldn't tell him to just hide from it. You know, the best thing is to learn how to AV Rush if you're going to be a Coalition player, but for this series, I think he really needs to rely on his strength, which is that LAV build. For now, it looks like it's going to be SC first. He's still a little bit late on his timing, but he's pretty good. I was working on him to try to get a 29:15 timing on the SC, or 29:20 that is, which is, I think, the more or less the optimal timing. I've gotten like 29:21 before, but that's about as far as it goes. SC first, I think, a build that SickIGN is very comfortable with. So I actually really like him doing this. This is ref mode first once again for NoFun. Interestingly, note that he leaves his carrier on the main base. He did this last game as well. This is actually not how I expected NoFun to play this series, though. I thought maybe this was a one-off thing on the first game that he's going to go eco, but normally he actually goes for some, like, aggro builds with sand skimmers. That's kind of his MO, but maybe I'm mischaracterizing him. Perhaps that's just kind of like old school NoFun, but he hasn't been doing that for a while. I mean, sometimes I build up a narrative. It's a little hard to break it in my head. Maybe he knew SickIGN likes LAV. It's possible, but I don't think he's been watching too many casts, so I don't think he knows too much about SickIGN yet. kind of chilly. Ugh. I need the game to get more intense so that my PC will heat up and warm me up, you know. Railgun Fab looks like coming up for NoFun here, so that's going to be the tech choice this game. This is before second PC, so he sees the SC first, but he's not going to match by going to PC first into kind of like a more greed style. He's going to go for the tech instead. And production upgrade is coming out for SickIGN. It does manage to take a trade, how do I say, like a 1-for-0 trade there. Does NoFun on the LAV there. So that's quite nice for him. Production upgrade done now though, so this is where the defending player starts to be able to get a bit of an advantage in numbers here. But SickIGN going for an extraction here in a very ambitious time, I guess I would say. Because, you know that there's going to be more skims than that on the field, and this turret could be really helpful if you do end up getting rushed, which could have happened here. There could have been rails showing up, so I feel like this is a bit of a bad call, but he may not get punished for it too hard. This base sprinter though taking a lot of abuse here. Oh gosh, I mean if you just keep running like that, it's gonna die actually. Oh no. Oh, that's quite a throw of a base sprinter right there. Just drunken VR. And I mean, that is relevant too, because like if you can have artifact pressure going on, that causes NoFun to have to come out into the midfield and match his LAVs and, you know, fight them, right? And this way, I mean, NoFun can feel very confident, like, well, you know, I'll just go up onto 3 base then. That's kind of my next move. And although he did get that rail tech, so perhaps he's thinking of pushing, but he does have this PC out, so it's messy. Speaking of messy, whoa, oh. He queues up 2 salvagers on this PC here, where he just cancel this and build another one off the carrier, but that's okay. SickIGN though definitely has requisite numbers to defend here. Now this assault railgun is out, but SickIGN has got armor too, so he's not going to take a whole lot of damage from it. Still though, that does constitute a tech advantage. I think perhaps it's possible NoFun with some good control can push out here. Assault pack coming up though. Once that's finished, I mean now there's a real kill threat against these assault rails where the LAVs can just boost on top of them, so NoFun will have to be careful if he wants to take this kind of fight, but he's just kind of jockeying for position right now. The one thing he should take note of though is there could be air, because we only see LAVs so far. If he could get some vision on that carrier, I think that'd be really big. He's actually, wait, never mind. He's done nothing! He canceled the salvagers there, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I just think that like if you have the carrier's production line free, you might as well build salvagers off of that. It just seems more optimal to me. Gonna go for a bit of engage onto the main base now. Wants to see if he can get some salvager kills here. Actually, he's targeting the SC for now. But there's that boost I was talking about, and this is the kill threat that the LAVs have. They're just gonna chunk out these assault rails almost instantly, right? So damage output from the assault rail is very, very low based on how quickly they died there. This is obviously armor 2 LAVs as well, so I mean he's going to take this trade very, very fluently. There's armor 1 on the sand skimmers, but yeah, he just absolutely chunks that army. So this is a moment now where SickIGN is a bit resurgent on the field. And seeing that rail tech, you've got to assume it's probably not going to be air, so he can really push out pretty far. Oh hey look, another bot to ban. Oh, what's going on here? I guess he's trying to get the carrier up on the second base there. He's too powerful! The bots are adapting. We can't ban them anymore. Well, this is a lot of LAVs. And railguns are obviously going to come out as well. Well, you would expect anyway. I mean, he does have that tech done. And like I said, I want to see him playing LAV rail here, but he does need to be proactive because like I said, NoFun is on 3 base, and honor guards are coming out too. And just like in the last game, he's got all of these assault ships, or AVs I guess, because he's playing Coalition, you know. And he's got this huge number of them, and it seems like a scary army, but like, NoFun eventually is going to get to Con F Siege, and when that happens, you know, I don't really know if these AVs are going to be able to fight back, right? I feel like it's a similar deal with the LAVs and honor guards, right? I mean, eventually honor guards will come out, and when that happens, these LAVs are much less powerful. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not just getting lucky, right? I mean, like, he clearly knows, you know. Yeah, no, you're right. He who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Marchwaden, right? Remember when he played his first tournament and he's like, he was really new to DOK back then, and it kind of showed. Like he didn't have like have a lot of knowledge about the game, right? But he was still like giving pretty good players trouble, and people were like, "Oh yeah, because he just uses Con F Siege." And I'm like, I mean, that's not enough to just win against like the top tier of players, right? SickIGN with the guard order, by the way. He seems to really enjoy guard orders. I don't really know why he does that so much. Missile ship fab coming out for NoFun though, so he is starting to suspect that maybe error is coming, but there is none. Well, for good reason, man. For good reason. I'll tell you that. NoFun still does not have the strikecraft superiority right here. I agree. I mean, well, NoFun's been on 3 base for so long now. I mean, he's really far ahead there. Eventually, you expect the skimmer numbers to start equaling the LAV numbers. And yeah, it's like 15 to 17 right now. I agree. Because that trade that he took... Oh, I can't remember where it was. But whatever, it was really, really dominant here. Yeah, it was right here, right? Where he killed like all these skims and the assault rail. That's where you start wanting to like push in and, you know, do some counter pressure, but he just kind of sat on his lapels here. And his eco also was quite a slow follow-up as well, so... I agree, I mean, it feels like he had this probably, but... didn't see that he had a window there, probably. AV Fab coming out, probably just get armed for the railguns. And right now, damage 2 finishing for both sides, so these are pretty comparable blobs, I guess I would say. The difference is one of them's got an HGC backing it, and the other one's just got railguns, so... LAVs, though, doing the things that LAVs do best. SickIGN does manage to pick off a couple of skims for free there. But there are assault railguns, too, right? And they have to be a little bit scarce wherever the rails are, because obviously assault railguns get countered pretty hard by rails in this kind of engagement, because they can't utilize their range advantage. But this honor guard is just really scary, right? And there's 2 of them now. That is another honor guard, right? Yes, it is. And the railguns actually for SickIGN backing up to his 3rd base, so like this is a moment where the assault rails can definitely push up. They don't need to be worried about anything, which is kind of a weird call there. But it looks like he's trying to inhabit this high ground position. The high grounds can often be a bit of a trap, though. You've got to realize. So let's be careful either way. NoFun is starting to build some heavy rails as well now, so it looks like he wants to bring this into an endgame. NoFun plays very slow and collected, right? I mean, he's not going for trades for like most of the game. He's content to just sort of build up his army and trying to get to his conditions that he wants. Right now, though, Rail's actually catching this honor guard in a really nice position. I think that the line of sight is not for them just right now, but they do manage to take it down to half there. It means that it's not in position for this fight as well either for the LAVs, so I think that actually SickIGN took that fight pretty well. Now he's starting to get hit, though. And you gotta realize, I mean, if you get hit enough times by the honor guards, you really just start losing rails. So honor guards are very, very dangerous to just kind of run at, right? Yeah, that sums it up exactly, again. I mean, it looked like any moment he was just gonna get dunked by honor guards, but he didn't, so... There's another honor guard shot, though, killing more and more railguns here. There's not that many left. I mean, this is just a very, very powerful tech. I feel like you've got to have something to answer this with. And it can't really be air either, because NoFun could just tech the anti-air upgrade if he sees that the pads open up here. So this is tough for SickIGN. This, though... Oh, wait, no, this is NoFun. Shoot. Really good backstab by NoFun here. I was like, this is good for SickIGN. No, this is bad for him. And it's going to take out all of the salvagers on that 3rd base, pretty much. Yeah, it gets all of them. Rip in pepperonis in pieces. Wow, that's pretty advanced. Yeah, I know it's true. I'm gonna miss honor guard anti-air. There's gonna be a lot of situations where it's not the right call anymore, but I know in my heart that's what it should be, right? I mean, because currently honor guard anti-air feels like if you're gonna get honor guards, just get it because it's so good. And if they do end up going for air, you're definitely gonna be happy that you got it. By the way, really big honor guard shot right there. And he wants to capitalize with the skims, but oof! But he's not quite able to. It looked like actually a surprisingly even trade in the end. But I mean, you can see these honor guards are just a real terror. And it facilitates these skims so well as well, right? Ooh. Space Runner count as lucky stars on 4 HP, but it doesn't really matter. These skims gonna hop into the back line now. And they do be chunking. These porkers are gonna go down in a jiffy. And these LEVs want to contest, but there's definitely not a numbers advantage for SickIGN here, so that's not gonna be enough. And meanwhile, on this flank, he probably just pushes slowly, continues to leverage his advantage here. And these skims are just running amok. There's nothing to stop them. And if NoFun had some, or SickIGN had something like assault cruisers, which actually he's actually teched them. I might be able to do something about these skims, but it's far too late to build them. And he agrees he's gonna GG out. This army composition here just looks totally unbeatable, especially with this running in the backline, just destroying everything. And yeah, I agree. Very, very good game there by NoFun. There was a moment where he took this bad fight here, right, but he recovered exactly how he should have, and SickIGN gave him that window, and, well, he did not waste it. He just turned right back around and won. Pretty clean, right? And again, like, when NoFun is on... When NoFun is off, I feel like he makes kind of silly mistakes, but when NoFun is on, he just feels, like, so cerebral. Like, he always has exactly what he needs in that moment, right? I like to see it. Game 3 going to be on Canyon Outpost, and this one was picked also by NoFun, right? Yep. Match point here, potentially the end for SickIGN if he is not able to, overcome in this one. Currently for NoFun, it's 2 Salvagers being produced, Space Marine retired. This is probably just ref mode once again. Although this could still be a rush, you don't know for sure, but he's been having success with it. I imagine he probably just sticks with that. I mean, it seems to me that NoFun's skill in a lot of ways is like as a macro player. I mean, he builds the units that he needs, he's got them in the positions that he needs, and he doesn't seem to get out-positioned all that much, really. In that case, going for a macro opener just, you know, makes sense, right? And Canyon Outpost definitely a map with a very long rush distance, and not a map where I think that, you know, if SickIGN did choose to, like, AAV rush, that he would just auto-win. So, it's going to be SC first from SickIGN as well. Should rotate his carrier here, but it's okay. Oh, he's got a really good timing. Hey, look at that. That looked like a 29-20 to me. Very nicely done, my boy. He's been working on that, like I said. Oh, I take it back, though. This is indeed going to be a rush here. That's pretty hype. That's pretty hype. So the question is then, is he going to go for like a second PC here? Because he hasn't started his tech yet, even though he's got the money for it. Unless it's Rails. But he could go 2 PC before he goes tech. I mean, that is not really very meta these days, but I think it could still be done. He started 1 on RUs and 3 on CUs, though, so obviously his railgun timing would be a bit delayed for that. He retired the base runner, but he's got an even number of RUs, so he must have quick dropped, right? If he does another drop right now, he can get rail tech immediately, if that's what he's going for. Yeah, that must be what he's going for. Oh, I know that feeling where you drop and you're like 4 off, and then you drop again and you're 2 off, and you're like... But he gets the quick drop figured out in the end eventually. That's how Fleet Cat 45 started first, so he's got quite a lot of emphasis on skim here, I think. And I think that's probably good. Again, you may run into LAV spam here, and so going in blind like this, it probably makes a lot of sense to have a lot of skims. I tend to get the tech faster because I start 2 on RUs because I'm worried about like AV rush, but I think that this is definitely a viable way to play this. Skims show up here then, they're going to start harassing this base burner just a little bit. The base burner is a big deal, and it's good for SickIGN that he keeps it, but it is going to actually die here if he doesn't do something to defend it here. But the LEV shows up, so the skims feel like they've got to vacate. This is actually a free LEV though if they want it, but it looks like he misses that window, so he's just gonna back off there. And we do have an assault rail on the queue. Question is, how is he going to deal with the turret? That's like kind of the only unknown here, but look at this, the LEVs for SickIGN moving into the wrong position here. No turret was set down, so this base burner is going to be forfeit. Uh-oh, and I feel like NoFun has just cleared the way for this rail rush to really be quite powerful here. So at this point, SickIGN almost has to just bring his carrier back and try and like push this out as fast as he can. Definitely getting the production upgrade is the right call though. And rail rush is hard to execute, so I mean, you definitely feel this is possible for NoFun to kind of make a mistake, but rail rush is also a kind of build where if the defending player takes damage, he's really in a bad spot. This is all a symptom, I think, of not having launched a probe, right? Yeah. Assault Rails take out the logistics module there. That's gotta be really annoying for SickIGN, because I'm sure he can't build LAVs right now, right? He doesn't have any logistics up, so he's gonna have to redeploy that. Did he just drop one? No. Oh, well maybe he's lost so many units he can still build here. That's also not really a good sign. Support cruiser is getting low here, but NoFun is really kind of throwing units massively to try and get this SC kill. You don't need this, actually. You should just go for, like, picking off the salvagers. Oh man, the assault rails are diving in so deep. Look at this. Oh. I mean, this is still okay for NoFun, but not really the way that he wants to play this out, I don't think. Oh yeah, he did drop logistics module. I actually really like that position, because, like, in what scenario is this going to be besieged, you know what I mean? Like, it's never going to happen, so. One singular LAV here trying to finish off the assault rail. It doesn't look like he's going to get that. He should just leave his carrier here, though, because obviously he is on one base right now. I mean, oh shoot, they got the assault rail. Nice. But this is eco-suicide, right? You just bring this guy back here, you're going to be okay. Just turtle on one base for a bit here until you can get enough defense to, like, hold off the push. As for NoFun, though, it's actually going to be ref mode, so he goes back and he's going to choose to get his economy set up on the back of this. He definitely did damage his opponent quite a lot here. I mean, the thing is, SickIGN has to build so many LAVs now to be safe before he can make that support cruiser back. But, you know, if he just goes for salvagers instead, I feel like he gets a bigger money value, this NoFun, so. Feels like a mistake to me, but, you know. So let's see when SickIGN starts queuing up his SC. For NoFun, I imagine we're going to have a second PC pretty soon here as well. He's building a bit of defense because he knows that a counterattack is possible. But honestly, getting that second PC is like the biggest defense for him because that allows him to get a lot more skims out than he has right now. So I think he definitely needs that. Looks like a little engage gonna happen on the bridge here now. NoFun kiting well, but I actually wonder if SickIGN maybe could have taken that fight there, but both players choosing to back off from that, and we do have that second PC queued up now. SickIGN has a support cruiser out though, so he's gonna be not that far behind, and all things considered, this is actually a pretty even early game. I'd say I would favor NoFun a little bit, but not by too much. He does have the tech advantage though, because SickIGN hasn't started any of the three, and obviously railgun tech being done already, honor guards are also a possibility. And if it's going to be LAV rail from SickIGN, which, you know, he's built a lot of these things, he's got armor 2 already, I think honor guards are going to be a very strong choice. He did it last game, you know, you'd suspect he would do it again. Raiding started for NoFun now. And here's that second PC. Looks like it's railgun fab started for SickIGN, as we expected. But see, I kind of wonder, actually, if NoFun could have, like, because he backed up and there was a long window here where SickIGN wasn't really confident in pushing, I wonder if he could have, like, gone to air, actually, but it's kind of academic. He doesn't need to do that. It's a bit of a strange type of play to make, probably. SickIGN, though, he did have his carrier scouted here by NoFun Sandskimmer, so he knows that there's no air tech coming for him, just NoFun. So it's not really a stressful situation for him. I think he just kind of macros up. He'll be fine. He knows it. And he's got these assault rails and the skims ready to defend. But worth noting, obviously, those LAVs do have an upgrade lead against the skims here by... Well, it looks like they have armor 2. Assault pack just now teching though, but damage 1 is on the way for NoFun, so he doesn't want that to be the status quo. One skim here, gonna attempt to sacrifice itself for Sejuk, but doesn't quite manage. Well, I guess these are Kanef. They're not religious people. Damage 1 finishing soon. And it's actually, NoFun wants to make a really aggressive play across the field here. You should really wait until damage 1 is finished though. But remember, once the soul pack is done, these LAVs could jump on him. We saw this last game. This is very mirrored to how that last game went, actually, in a lot of ways. He wants to be careful, because once that assault pack is done, he can be jumped on, right? Now that the rails are out, this kind of era of dominance of the assault railgun is sort of going away. This is, I think, where he wants to start taking to honor guard. But he should probably just fill out his bases first, which I think is what he's doing, more or less. Sees the rails now off of this sand skimmer. Last time we checked, there was no tech on this carrier, so that is a change. But whoa, excuse me, that was a huge yawn there. But there's still no third base, so big problems for NoFun. Not really. I mean, it feels pretty fine to me. MagXL coming up from SickIGN, no? Seems to anticipate that a bit of a rail fight will happen. Oh, wait a minute, a Soul Chip Tech from NoFun. That is a change from last game where he went for honor guards. He's still teching rail armor though, so I think yeah, he actually plans to go for air here. That's gotta be the play. That's pretty interesting. In that case, I think he needs another PC, but right now he's actually fleet capped, let alone doesn't have the money for it, so. Just because, you know, if you don't have, well, no, if he goes for air, he will have 3 production lines. 3 bases generally means 3 production lines. You're going to be okay. Otherwise, you'll start floating. Armor 2 teching for him now. SickIGN also teching damage 1. So again, they continue to match each other with upgrades. Yeah, because SickIGN already has armor 2. Yeah. They have the same upgrades, more or less. Actually, he doesn't have it just yet, though. Armor's just now finishing. So, maybe a possibility that this fight goes a little bit poorly for NoFun because he just finished the tech there, but he wants to take the gamble, though. Focus fire from both sides seems pretty messy. I see a lot of low health units here, but it seems to be just mutually assured destruction. I don't think either side is really coming out on top here. Focus fire for NoFun though is starting to come through, and it's big. Assault rails try to get in there as well, but they get denied by the railguns. 5 on 2 now. It's obviously winning numbers for the Galzian player here, Conef I should say. And he's just gonna back away. Both of the skimmer blobs just annihilate each other. It's pretty funny. Or strikecraft blobs, that is. Still though, again, NoFun 3 base, right? And SickIGN is not on there, so. Damage 2 coming up for NoFun then. Hasn't tech to ints though. He's actually going to build a 3rd PC, so I wonder what the play here is. It might be Conef Siege. Maybe that's what he's doing here. After all, you know, with the choke points there, Conef Siege does have that barrage capability. Neither player has really touched the artifacts yet. This here, I think, is a fight NoFun wins. Well, it depends on the lead-up, though. And these railguns actually, I mean, obviously not designed to fire at sand skimmers, but they are doing relevant damage. And every time they hit something, you know, they apply that armor break as well, so that means that the LAVs from SickIGN can capitalize. So the assault rails need to be here as well, then, is basically what I'm saying. It is indeed going to be Conef Siege from NoFun. He's going to take this trade here. Ooh, losing quite a bit of guys there. But he does have 3 PCs, so he's got 3 production lines of skim that he can replace this with. Everybody loves skim milk. Looks like he's going to bring the carrier over to power 1 teching, so maybe he wants to use some missiles to try and deny the choke point as well. SickIGN taking power as well, but the difference is he's still on 2 base. He doesn't have his 3rd base set up yet. Yeah. And a lot of players are like that, where they just won't take that 3rd base. But you really just got to. I mean, if the problem is that you're floating already on 2 base, that's not... That you can't solve that by just not going 3 base. You know, you just have to learn how to spend better. It's no heavy rails for NoFun, by the way. I mean, he just believes in taking this fight through the choke point. He doesn't need heavy rails, it seems. He needs to be careful though, because I mean, obviously he could, you know, he could take a bad trade here and let these LAVs come in, flying in and do a whole bunch of damage. So he needs to be careful until that kind of siege is out. But when that is out, that's going to be a big power spike for NoFun. That kind of siege will go wonders for do wonders for him, I think. Not floating much at all, by the way. I mean, he's doing very well with his resource management this game. I think he's saving up for kind of siege right now, but maybe he did need to queue up a couple more skims there. Yeah, there it is. Whoa! Ah, gosh, I'm yawning again. He has this base runner though. I'd really like to see him go for some artifacts here, but also he is building blast drones. You know, I like that. And it's done well for him this series so far. NoFun seeing singular LAV there, just gonna go for the trade. Doesn't really want to take this fight though, I don't think. This feels unnecessarily risky to me, especially with the railgun shooting in from the back line. I mean, they do actually do damage, right? It's not much, but this is a lot of railguns. One thing I do like about SickIGN's play is when he commits to building a unit, he makes a lot of them. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have 50 railguns, you know what I mean? Yeah, but very bad trade for NoFun there. I mean, he probably lost like 10 skins and only killed like 5 LEVs, so starting to increase the differential there, but Con of Siege is out. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm worried about, too. Although, isn't it only Gaussian rails that have had the accuracy increase, or is it Coalition too? I didn't think it was. Both. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that changes things, because I was thinking it was a little bit, I was thinking it was a little bit imba in a sense that, like, Gaussian got this buff, but Coalition didn't, but I guess that makes a lot of sense. By the way, though, what is SickIGN doing? I mean, this is just really, you know, NoFun continues to poke through this bridge to see if he can get in. Why would you leave it with, like, your entire army? I mean, this is just asking to get backdoored. I don't understand. I mean, that's like what I would have done if I wanted to, like, throw the game. Oh, dear. I mean, I guess he wants to bring his carrier over, and he wants, like, the LEVs to escort it. It just doesn't make any sense. NoFun, though, also kind of playing this a bit wrong, as he's focus firing the support cruiser here, which, you know, we've talked about that before. In fact, now he's focus firing it, but it's not even in range. So, you know, a little bit messy from both sides, I think we can agree, but obviously this Con of Siege is going to start really chunking these LEVs here in just a moment. Yeah, there it is. I mean, they can dodge for a while, but eventually you're going to get hit. Oh my gosh, the entire blob just goes down in, like, one volley. I mean, Con of Siege is disgustingly good against Strikecraft. You've gotta be careful there. Con of Siege moving in through the choke then, but he sees that carrier. He's gonna go back and try to respond then. Obviously, he's got a lot of, like, he's got rail tech, but he's not building any heavies. He's just on skims, a couple of assaults, and he's really just relying on Con of Siege to be his kind of anti-capital force here. Still never moved that base sprinter out to try and catch the artifact, so. Whoops. Oh shoot! This is the last one though, so I mean, at least you're not gonna go to bed too early, right? Like yesterday. Well, I mean, the way things are shaping up, this is looking like the last game of the last series that we're gonna cast today, so. I do always like having you around as I cast. SickIGN, by the way, only with power 1 here, so this isn't really a proper power play either. It's taking into ACs. Feels too low tempo to me. I don't think ACs can, like, you don't have time to build this right now. And I get that he needs something to deal with the skims here, but I don't know, it doesn't seem really possible. And LEV's gonna back up now, so they're not gonna be present here for this engagement on the front line. Assault rails are actually in range, and you know when assault rails get in range, they really chunk. But he's gonna want to back away now. Indeed he will. Oh my gosh. Is he gonna try to take one of the bases from SickIGN? Dude, I would love that. It is a little bit risky though, because he doesn't want to spread himself too thin. Obviously, this is a carrier power play on his doorstep. You know, you don't want to be too nonchalant about that. But if he takes like SickIGN's third base though, oh man, I love it when people do that. It's like my favorite thing. Uh-oh, Skins want to watch out for the friendly fire here. Oh, they didn't take too much of it there. That was really close, though. You just gotta be aware when you're using Con of Siege that it does do a lot of friendly fire if you're not careful with it. This, however, definitely a trait that the Skims do win. I love how the LAV just like bounces into the room. It's very goofy looking. A fair bit of carrier power teched for NoFun here. He's going to start throwing those missiles into the Coalition player's face. Let's try and get a little bit of attrition. That's the MO. This Con of Siege is the only thing that survived on that flank, but I mean, he's Con of Siege. I mean, he's gonna do fine. He'll be able to clear everything out on his own. So this is really the climactic battle then, and it just doesn't really feel like SickIGN has got hardly anything. Triple barrage here is gonna pretty much kill off everything that he's got. This barrage here is a little bit misplaced, I would say, but you know. Oh, I see. These guys are on CD actually. But if he can figure out where these rails are and just barrages it, I mean, he's gonna just absolutely murder. Oh, doesn't even need to. Like, he's got these skims coming back in here. that is SickIGN's alt account. Number 2. He's got too many. Like, why do you have so many Twitch accounts? I don't understand. You just use one. Oh. Kind of siege here, going a chunk the way that it do. Does pretty serious damage to that carrier. And like, actually NoFun is playing this a little bit wrong. I mean, he ought to go up to close combat weapons and he can actually do a lot of damage output with this carrier here, so. But it's fine. I mean, the kind of siege is obviously going to carry if he needs it too, so. Down goes the carrier from SickIGN, and NoFun will claim the series 3-0 and advance up to the semifinals. That's all the games we're going to cast today, but thanks for watching, guys. It was a lot of fun. Quite a marathon. I've been casting since like 9 AM or something crazy like that, but I'm ready for a bit of a break. But I hope you guys enjoyed the series, and I'll catch you next time.